Friends, we now live in a very dangerous world. The unthinkable could happen any day now. When it does, get ready for massive food shortages to happen quickly. That means the smart thing to do is prepare for the worst now. You need emergency food to get you through whatever happens next. And we highly recommend My Patriot Supply, America's largest emergency preparedness company. Act quickly and you'll save $150 off their essential 3-month emergency food kit, which contains an abundance of delicious food that provides more than 2,000 calories a day. You get breakfast, lunches, dinners, drinks, and snacks 3 whole months worth per person. This is something every American family will soon need. Your shipment will ship quickly in unmarked boxes for your privacy. Go to preparewithjericho.com and save $150 on every 3-month emergency food kit. But do it now. That's preparewithjericho.com. Don't be a victim. Survive what's coming and avoid government food lines. Go to preparewithjericho.com. Good damn morning, Americans. Jericho Green here with you once again. Promo code FATHER, all caps. That will get you 20% off all green gear. Hit that Linktree link in the description box. Of course, sadly, there was another mass murder. It took place at an elementary school in a place called Uvalde, Texas. 19 children, 2 teachers, murdered in school, at an elementary school. Some 18-year-old demonic piece of human shit walked onto the campus, went into a classroom, and took out 19 children, 19 little young, innocent lives, and their 2 teachers. Unfortunately, the police shot him dead. It's unfortunate that his death was so quick and painless. I wish they would have taken him into custody and shipped him overseas for the punishment that he deserves. But he is gone, and he's not taking oxygen that a more deserving person could be breathing. 2nd, 3rd, and 4th graders. That's my daughter's age. My daughter's a 4th grader. And 19 families, 21 families were shattered yesterday. They will never get over that. Their lives are forever changed. This will tear some relationships apart. Some of the family members might harm themselves. This has a ripple effect throughout these people's lives. Children, there is absolutely nothing, no disease, no circumstance that life can put upon you that is worse than losing your child. Nothing on this planet. And that happened to 19 families yesterday. They put their kids on the bus, or they sent them to walk to school, or they dropped them off at school, thinking that they would pick them up later that day like they have for years. Thinking about what they're going to do this weekend, this summer, dinner. You know the number one question that little kids ask you? What's for dinner? Mom, dad, whoever dropped them off probably thinking, what am I going to make for dinner? Probably had a surprise for them. Could have been one of these kids' birthdays coming up. All kinds of shit. And all of that was frozen because of this demon that took those kids' lives. And the 2 teachers, they kissed the spouse, kissed their kids. Goodbye, see you later. Probably just sent a text. And this motherfucker comes onto campus and kills 21 people. So many questions. But here's one thing for sure. Here's one thing that you could bet the house on. You could push all your chips to the middle of the table on this one. It's a guarantee that Biden pervertus, our grandpa in chief, is going to give a bullshit speech after something like this happens. Guaranteed. He did it last week in Buffalo. He did it yesterday, wherever he was speaking from about this mass murder in Texas. The only thing that he said that made sense was in the very beginning of his speech when he talked about what it's like to lose a child, because he knows what that's like, times two. And for that, I can never fault him on that. That is horrible, and I feel bad for him. But after that is where he fucked up, where he started saying all kinds of stupid shit. Like, we have to, I wrote some of this down. He says we have to stand up to the gun lobbies. Who is we? You mean the American people? Because we've never been approached by a gun lobbyist. They don't approach us. They approach you. So when you said we, were you talking about you empty suit sons of bitches who haven't done anything? Because you've been in Washington for 50 years. You haven't found out a way to stand up to the gun lobbies? And what do you mean stand up to them? What are they doing to you that you can't stop or you can't control? Stand up to them. Are they bullying you? Do they put your head in the toilet and give you a swirly or take your lunch money? The fuck are you talking about? Stand up to them. And you couldn't have been talking to us because they don't deal with us. They go to you corrupt bastards because they know their money will get things going. And he kept saying, in God's name, for God's sake. He must have said that 8 or 9 times. In God's name. How in God's name and for God's sake? Hold on. So you a Catholic now? You've come back into the fold of Catholicism, Joe? Scoot over, Catholics. Make room for him on the pew. He's back. He's back for the jump off, guys. Apparently, at least yesterday, Joe Biden is now a Catholic again because he was talking about God left and right. So do you now not support abortion? Is that what it is? Are you a real Catholic now? Because real Catholics don't support abortion and you do. So how is that? Have you put those beliefs away for this moment? You're back into the Catholic fold now? You're going to go up there and get your wine and your cracker? You can't dust off religion when you need it and then put it back on the shelf. You're a Catholic or you're not. Which one is it? But I guess yesterday he was again because he kept saying, for God's sake, in God's name. Okay. And another thing they like to bring out, they like to dust this one off too. Common sense gun laws. What does that mean? You mean the laws we have on the books now aren't chock full of common sense? You mean the founding fathers didn't nail that shit down back then when they wrote the Constitution? I think they did. Something about shall not be infringed. But here you come with nothing but infringement. The gun laws we have on the books are fine. We don't need more. Times like this, we need less. You know how many millions of 18-year-olds there are out there with rifles and shotguns who will never do this? Who never think about doing this? Something was wrong with that little son of a bitch. That doesn't mean there's something wrong with us. That's the exception, not the rule. And he echoed some bullshit that the exalted one, Obama, I dare not say his name, forgive me. He echoed the same bullshit that Obama said in 2015, that these mass shootings don't happen in other developed countries. Uh-oh. I'm sorry, we hit a barrier, Barry. It's called the truth. And the truth is, this shit does happen in other developed countries, and we are way down on the list. Did you know America's not even top 10 for mass shootings? And he's talking about, well, there have been, ever since 10 years ago at Sandy Hook, there have been 900 and some mass shootings or shots fired on school grounds. See that? You got to look at that shit. Because that doesn't mean there have been 930, whatever he said, shootings at schools or school shootings. See, that shit could be reported like on the weekend, or somebody goes to their old high school parking lot and shoots themselves. They count that shit. But the way they word it is every other day a school's getting shot up. And the only thing we can do is take the guns away. Not fix the people or put the bad people away. No, we take the guns away. That's common sense. That's fucking stupid. America is one of the safest countries on earth. Despite what they tell you, 900 school shootings, bullshit. Look into the numbers, but he kept saying that. We need to do something. Now's the time. No, now's the time to give law-abiding citizens guns. This is no bullshit. Why does the federal government not incentivize people to buy firearms and be safe with them? Number one, the government should give us guns. All right? Every tax-paying, law-abiding citizen should get a free firearm every year, or a voucher for ammunition, or a voucher for a free training course. Wouldn't that be cool if once a year you got to go to like some John Wick firearms training? Wouldn't that be nice if there were a bunch of well-trained armed citizens walking around? An armed society is what? A polite society. So if you got a bunch of people walking around who know how to use their shit, well, that's going to make the bad guys pull back. Hey, whoa, let's pull back, because now we don't got to wait to hear the sirens in the distance. Those won't be the only guns showing up. The guns will already be on the scene, because there will be armed citizens all around. That's called a deterrent. You want to do some shit? Damn, I can't do it over there. 7 out of 10 people got a gun in that town. Well, I'm going to go to this school. Damn, I can't do that. They got an armed guard at the gate. Shit. Maybe that will force them to just kill each other. Wouldn't that be nice? Wouldn't that be good if all the bad guys just killed other bad guys? And then they were all gone. Then we wouldn't have to worry about this shit. And then I got to thinking, didn't we just hemorrhage billions of dollars to that little conflict 6,167 miles away from here? Didn't Congress and the Senate and the president just approve another $40 billion? So then I got to thinking, what would happen if we kept that $40 billion here and secured every school campus across the country? There's just over 130,000 K through 12 campuses in the country, private and public. With that 40 billion, just the last 40 billion, not even talking about the 15 billion they sent them before that, just that last 40 billion. And I'm not saying it's last as in the last we're going to send. Of course not. It's easy to spend other people's money. I'm just talking about the most recent package they've sent them. You take that 40 billion, divide it amongst those 130,000 schools, that is $305,000 per school for security. You want to take the whole 55 billion we sent over there instead of keeping it here? You take that 55 billion, divide it amongst 130,000 schools, you got $420,000 per school you could spend on security. And it could be even more, because maybe some of those private schools have the funds to fund their own security. You got those schools that all the rich elites send their kids to. I'm sure they can scrape the money together to pay for their own security. So that would make it even more for public schools or other schools that aren't covering their own security. Because we have something else we can do. Because we have soldiers, airmen, Marines, sailors coming back here from war, from serving their country. Don't you think they might have a little fight left in them? Don't you think they would be more than happy to stand guard at a school in America on their own soil to protect kids, maybe even a school that their kids go to? You think some fool, some 18-year-old punk or however old they are is going to run up on that school when you have a combat veteran standing there? I wish he would. I wish he would. And you know who else wishes he would? That combat veteran. He wishes he would too. Because he's about to take up a safe spot to shoot and render that threat no longer a threat. The only thing that threat is going to be good for is being zipped up inside of a bag. No problem. Police show up. Hey, SWAT, don't even. You guys go do something else. You guys go kick in the door of a crack house and save some baby who's been wearing the same damn Pampers for 3 days. Because you're not needed here. Because that combat veteran already fucked homeboy up. It's over. 0 casualties. Just the bad guy. That's it. And you know what that combat veteran is going to do? You guys good? You need me anymore? Because I'm going to get back over here and protect these kids some more. So then you're keeping the kids safe, and you're giving these combat vets something to do when they get back home. So they still feel useful. So they can still do some good for this country. I guarantee you there'll be more combat vets than schools that need them. There will be so many of those people signing up, it's ridiculous. They're already trained. They're already trained for what could potentially happen. They probably got their own damn guns they can bring. You don't even got to give them guns. Just give them a flak jacket with the school logo on it. That's it. Remember that scene from Terminator 2? When they broke into that garage and they stayed the night and the Terminator was just standing at the window and you see the sun go down and come back up and he's never moved. He's standing guard looking out that window. That's what they would be doing at those schools. Ain't nobody coming up here doing shit to these kids. Not on their watch. 305,000 to 420,000 per school for every 130 K through 12 school campuses. Here you go. And they came up with that money quick, didn't they? They came up with that money quick as shit. Speaking of stepping to a well-protected campus, that reminds me of a story that my brother told me. He was in a place called Djibouti. A name gets me every time. It's a country between Somalia and Ethiopia. Damn. And he was stationed there, and he went out one of the very few places they could go out because of the high level of danger over there. And he's coming back, and he's in a cab. And when you come to a military installation, especially overseas, I remember we pulled in a port. There was a place in Bahrain where there was a military base and there was like a hangout there for the soldiers and Marines and shit. So we went there and hung out and everything. But when you're coming in, it's not a straight shot. They got those concrete barriers you see like on the side of a highway when they're doing construction. And they got those so you got to zigzag. So you can't like come straight in with the car loaded with explosives or something. You got to zigzag, and it gives them time to see you. So you got dudes up there with Browning 50s. And I don't think there's anything created on this planet that can stand up to a Ma Deuce. Okay? You got 50s, you got M60s up there. They got their rifles on them. It's going to be real tough. And so he's driving back on base in this cab. This African dude's driving. And the dude is not stopping. He's just driving. I don't remember how they had it set up, but he's driving and not stopping, and he's approaching the gate. And they're not going to be like, hey, hold on. Do you have an American serviceman or woman in the car with you? No. They're going to probably think that thing is loaded with explosives. They're coming to kill us. And if you cross a certain point, they're going to light that car up. Everybody in that car, their lead content is going to go through the roof. So the guy's not stopping. My brother's telling me, hey, man, what the hell? And he's laughing. And he's driving and driving and driving. He gets to a certain point, and he stops. My brother gets out, and the guy takes off and drives. I don't know if this dude was playing a joke. I don't know if he had a death wish and then backed out. I don't know what happened. But if you roll up on a military installation at a high speed, it's a wrap. And the same thing would happen to some fool who's trying to come on that campus and harm those children. The same thing is going to happen to them. Why don't we do that? Why don't we take the money instead of sending it over to some people in a conflict we don't have shit to do with? And haven't we given them enough? Look at the numbers of the other developed countries that are supposed to be contributing to this. Look how much they've sent. Minus the 40. Just take the first 15 billion we sent them. Look at how much everybody else is sending. We've done enough. I'm sorry, Ukrainian people. Tell your boss to do the best with the billions we've sent them. We've done enough. We could use that money right here. We could be using that money to secure our kids and buy formula, the little shit. Keeping children safe. Call me crazy. But that shit yesterday, and I want to talk about it on the live once I get some more information and stuff. But that shit, man, that speech was sad. That speech was a letdown. That was a fucking letdown. In God's name, for God's sake, don't call on God now. We're trying to tug at people's heartstrings. November. They are a trapped animal and they will gnaw their paw off to get free. They will do anything. Politicize shit like this. Try to get everybody, oh my goodness, the shootings everywhere. And where were these mass shootings over the first year he was in office, year and a half, wherever we are? Because we're getting closer to November. We're about 5 months away, and we've had 2 mass murders. Why does it go in flows? We got them, and then we don't. And then we got them, but it's always around the time where they need them. Need to get people all riled up. If they get enough emotional dummies, they know they'll stay in power. They know they can take more guns and make it harder for law-abiding citizens. I took my godson shooting on Sunday. And they have guns up there on the wall for sale. And the girl was ringing us up and everything. And he said, what's that thing on the handle? It was an AR. And it had that stupid, there's like a fin or like a paddle, a fin that's on the back of a grip, on the back of the grip. So let's say you got the normal grip of the gun. Well, California added a fin about 3 or 4 inches long to where you can't grip it. Now your hand's like this. Instead of like this, or like this for the trigger, now it's like this. So you don't have such a good grip on the gun. It's supposed to stop people from shooting as many people during a mass shooting. Because if you have better grip and control of the gun, you could kill more people. What potential mass murderer is saying, hold on, let me make sure my firearms are California compliant? None. So who is that hindering? Us, the law-abiding citizens. Why would you do that to us? What if I need that gun to protect myself and my family? And I got this stupid ass fin on the back of it. Look it up. I don't even know how to explain it. It's so stupid. When you see it, it looks like if you just bought that gun, that's part of the plastic you're supposed to cut off. It looks like something you're supposed to take off before you use it. It looks like it came from the factory. It looks so stupid. There's not one fucking criminal who's going to make sure he's compliant before he commits mass murder. Not a one. Because if you're okay with murder, you don't give a shit about no gun infraction. But again, it hamstrings us, not the crooks. How do you think the crooks and criminals would feel if they knew that law-abiding citizens were about to get an influx of firearms? What do you think that would do to home invasions and robberies and murders? It just might go down. Damn, man. And then, here's a dumbass California cherry on top. Sacramento, they had a Gas for Guns campaign. And you got a $50 gas card because gas prices are so high. It's like over $6 for the cheap shit. You got a $50 gas card per gun that you turned in. Now, who the fuck do you think was going there to turn in guns, huh? You think it was a little cholo with a neck tat? You think it was a Crip or a Blood going to turn in their guns? Hell no. It was a bunch of people who were turning in guns they found in their dead grandfather's closet when they cleaned out his house. Look at the guns, they're all old. Like old grease guns and shit, or some old ass handgun from overseas. Nobody commit no damn crimes with that. All the guns look dated. Like, oh shit, I got some spare guns around. Grandpa just kicked the bucket. I'll turn in his old ass guns and get a $50 gift card. Oh, fake ass shit. They don't care about our safety. If they cared, they wouldn't have no program for you to turn in their guns. It would be gas and guns. Here's a $50 gas card and a gun. California taxpayer, get out there and be safe. They don't give a shit about us. And they say that Biden's making plans to go down to Texas and visit where the school shooting was. We'll see. Because the shooter was Mexican and most of the kids were Mexican. So that's brown shooter, brown victim. That usually doesn't line up in their Rubik's Cube of give a shit. We'll see. Damn, this video went a little long. Sorry about that. What can I say? This is some 19 kids, 2 teachers. And then to sit out there and act like America is number 1 on the list for mass shootings. We're not even top 10. Look it up. If it comes out of that man's mouth, you know it's a lie. He says, "Oh, I just came back from a trip in Asia, and it dawned on me on the plane ride back." Ain't shit dawned on you in 40 years. But he says, "What? They don't have these mass shootings in other developed countries." Yes, they do. Why would he say something he knows is a lie? Unless he knows nobody's going to check him on it. He knows he has the mainstream mediocres in his back pocket of his dockers that are pulled up too damn high. Man, let me get the hell up out of here and squeeze my kids a little bit tighter. But you know how it goes. I try to be done with the left, but they just won't let me. Please subscribe. Hit that notification bell because every time it rings, a piece of shit lefty cries. Utilize the Linktree link. Get your ass over to JerichoGreen.net. I am Jericho Green. Man, I'm out.